Thank you, Rob. On Tuesday night, President Obama laid out his blueprint for an economy to last. He said that this is a make or break moment for the middle class and those trying to reach it, and that what's at stake is the basic American promise that if you work hard, you can do well enough to raise a family, own a home, and put away a little for retirement. Unfortunately, that didn't describe our economy in the years leading up to the crisis. And nowhere was that clearer than in the housing market. As President Obama said, mortgages were sold to people who couldn't afford or understand them. Banks made huge bets and bonuses with other people's money. And we all paid a very steep price. House prices sank for 30 straight months in a row. Foreclosures climbed to record levels month after month, and by the time the worst of it was over, our economy had lost 8 million jobs. Since those dark days, we've made very real progress. Foreclosure notices are down 45% since early 2009. More than 5.5 million families have received mortgage modifications with affordable monthly payments. And we will be announcing more relief for struggling homeowners later today. Most important of all, we've created more than 3 million jobs in the last 22 months. But at the same time, we need to move forward from this crisis and rebuild an economy where hard work pays off and responsibility is rewarded. We still have unfinished business with those responsible for this crisis. Now, to be clear, to ensure a crisis like this never happens again, President Obama signed Wall Street reform into law. But millions of American families who've been harmed, countless families have lost everything, not just their homes, but their reputations and livelihoods. These families deserve justice. They deserve relief. That is why this investigation is so important. With a new residential mortgage-backed securities working group led by Attorney General Holder and New York Attorney General Schneiderman, we will build on the work of the President's Financial Fraud Enforcement Task Force by investigating misconduct in the pooling and sale of residential mortgage-backed securities. Misconduct we know led directly to the financial crisis. And I'm proud that the Office of the HUD Inspector General, David Montoya, which has been central to uncovering wrongdoing with respect to faulty foreclosure servicing practices, will play a critical role in the mortgage origination component of this review. His office is expanding the number of lenders, has expanded the number of lenders for compliance that it's looking at for compliance with the underwriting requirements of the Federal Housing Administration, part of HUD. Their charge is to quantify the extent to which these FHA requirements were not adhered to, and to assess the impact on homeowners and taxpayers alike. The goal of the investigation President Obama announced is clear: to hold accountable any institutions that violated the law, to compensate victims and help provide relief for homeowners struggling from the collapse of the housing market, caused in part by this wrongdoing, and to get to the bottom of what really happened so we can turn the page on this destructive period in our history. All this work is fundamentally about building a nation where, as the President said, everyone gets a fair shot, everyone does their fair share, and everyone plays by the same rules. That's what this investigation is about, and it's why I'm so proud to be a part of it. With that, it's my privilege to introduce a tremendous partner and one of the fiercest advocates for holding banks accountable that I've ever had the privilege to work with. That's State Attorney General and co-chair of this RMBS working group, New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman. And let me just say, having gotten to know Eric and worked with him closely as we were building up to this day in the work of preparing this task force, it became clear very quickly to me that Eric and I shared a vision that it would be a grave injustice to hold these institutions accountable and to potentially have tens of billions or hundreds of billions be paid to private investors, to law enforcement agencies, to state agencies and pension funds, but not make sure that homeowners who hold those loans, who depend on being able to get those loans fixed, to be able to stay in their homes and to be able to provide for their families. And it is that connection of bringing together all the disparate pieces of this, federal and state, that I think gives the potential that this working group can set a template, not just for accountability, but also for real relief to homeowners. And I thank Eric for his vision in doing that and welcome him up to the podium. Thank you, Eric.